Good morning. Welcome to Mission Control Houston and the International Space Station Flight Control Room. This is where there is a team of specialists on duty around the clock to monitor the station's systems and help the Expedition 56 crew members with all their science and maintenance tasks. This week, the teams have been working with the station crew members to get ready for some major activity. Next week's arrival of the first Japanese cargo ship to visit the station in almost 2 years, and the third spacewalk of this expedition, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks.
Houston Station on Space to Ground.
Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Kayla LaFrance. This week, the crew on board the ISS is preparing to step outside the orbiting laboratory. They've been hard at work preparing their extravehicular activity, or EVA suits, and other equipment for 2 upcoming spacewalks, currently scheduled for September 20th and 26th. The astronauts will be installing new lithium-ion batteries to go outside of the station, replacing some of the station's existing nickel-hydrogen batteries. These new batteries are scheduled to arrive at the station next week, along with tons of cargo in the Japanese HTV-7 spacecraft. Developed and built in Japan, the H2 transfer vehicle, HTV, is known as Konotori, which means white stork in Japanese. It is an uncrewed cargo spacecraft that delivers science, supplies, and large external payloads, like batteries, to the station. Be sure to tune in to NASA TV on Monday, September 10th, and follow along with the live broadcast of the launch at 6:32 p.m. Eastern Time. This week's question comes from Vincent, who wanted to know if astronauts play sports while in space. Like many of us, astronauts are also fans of a wide variety of sports, from auto racing to soccer and hockey to tennis.
The challenge is that anytime that we move quickly or have to plant our feet or do something forceful with our bodies, it's really tough because, well, you can see if I let go with my feet, I just start floating. And so if I'm just in the middle of this module here and I try to swing a racket or hit a ball or do something, kick a soccer ball, I've got nothing to plant my feet on, so I just start floating randomly, and then it's difficult to put force into anything.
Keep sending in your questions using the hashtag #SpaceToGround. We'll see you next week.
As Kayla mentioned, NASA TV and NASA.gov will have live coverage of the launch of the next Japanese supply ship to the International Space Station, starting at 5 a.m. Central Time on Monday, September 10th. Launch from the Tanegashima Space Center in Japan is targeted for 5:32 a.m. Houston time on Monday. And then rendezvous with the space station and capture and installation by the space station's robotic arm comes up next Friday, September 14th. The safe delivery of the HTV to the station next week will depend on the smooth operation of many highly technical systems, but none more so than the space station's remote manipulator system, seen here. More than 400 times since the hardware was delivered to the station more than 17 years ago, Canadarm2 has been right there to support a wide variety of operations, including the assembly of the station itself. Here's a quick reminder of some of its highlights. The station crew members are scheduled for another live question and answer session with students on the ground next week. And that's a thing that they've done a lot of during this year of education on station, when there's been a former classroom teacher on board. Joe Acaba during Expeditions 53 and 54, and now Ricky Arnold for Expeditions 55 and 56. Those live Q&As help students and their teachers on Earth get the most out of learning about science, technology, engineering, and math. And so do the demonstration videos the astronauts have been making, like this one, in which Acaba talks about exercise on orbit.
Hey there, my name is Joe Acaba, and I'm living and working on the International Space Station as part of Expedition 53. One of the best parts about living on the space station is being able to float. Just like you walk from place to place throughout your day, we float from place to place throughout our day. However, we have learned that the same thing that allows us to float, microgravity, is hard on our bodies over time. Our muscles and bones are made of millions of tiny units called cells, and these cells can have problems in microgravity. Up here on the station, bones and muscles no longer have to support the weight of our bodies, so they get weaker. Astronauts could develop something called muscle atrophy, where our muscles become weak from lack of use. Each bone in your body is made of cells too. A healthy bone has more density than an unhealthy bone. Weakened bones can lead to a disease called osteoporosis. Fortunately, our scientists at NASA have figured out one way to keep astronauts healthy and strong. It's called exercise. Let's take a look at how astronauts exercise in space. This machine here is the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, or we call it ARED. It simulates free weight exercises in normal gravity to work all the major muscle groups. ARED's primary goal is to maintain our muscle strength and mass so that we have less of a recovery period when we land back on Earth. All right, so there's looking at lifting. But what about a little cardio? We have a treadmill for that. Let's check it out. Staying physically active helps both astronauts in space and humans on the ground to stay healthy. And it prevents muscle atrophy and osteoporosis. Now you can try the activity connected to this video to learn more about muscle and bone cells. I'm Joe Acaba, and I hope you enjoyed learning about exercise on the International Space Station. We'll see you next time.
The humans on the International Space Station aren't there just to help out with science in the laboratory. For some of the experiments, they are the experiment. In the almost 18 years since Expedition 1 arrived on orbit, researchers have found that many crew members have experienced vision changes and anatomical alterations to their eyes during and after long-duration spaceflight. The Vision Impairment Syndrome investigation may improve our understanding of how blood pressure in the brain affects eye shape and visual acuity.
The nice thing about the One-Year Twins mission is it brings a lot of high-quality researchers together to look at a very specific problem. It gives us an opportunity to look at the human body in a very detailed fashion that we haven't done before. We're also now looking at this vision impairment syndrome. It's hypothesized to be secondary or as a result of this headward fluid shift that the crew members experience during spaceflight. So we're looking not just at the cardiovascular system in our laboratory, but we're also now looking at the eye itself, how it changes in its structure and its function. There's a strong cardiovascular component, so how much of the blood and the blood pressure gets transmitted to the head, which would be different than what's on the ground. The person that goes to see their doctor every day will have a potential benefit from what we learn in looking at our astronauts. Some of the issues that we're looking at for the one-year mission are things that people would normally experience on Earth. These sorts of physiologic changes or adaptations that we've observed and are observing now are ones that we would expect for people who are on for 6-month transit mission to Mars. So we always stay busy. We always try and keep asking new questions, things that we think will benefit both our crew members as well as the general public.
The International Space Station serves as a home for science that can benefit people on Earth, as a means of encouraging international cooperation and for enabling the commercialization of space exploration and space research, and supporting our efforts for future exploration beyond Earth orbit in the years to come. Those future missions will be flown on the Orion spacecraft, launched atop the Space Launch System rocket with the support of the Exploration Ground Systems Program facilities. Teams across the country and in Europe have been hard at work developing and building all the hardware. Here's a look at their progress, starting with the teams in Germany. The food for the crew on the International Space Station is carefully chosen for its nutritional value and specially prepared and packaged to be easily accessible in a weightless world on orbit. But could the same food feed the needs of people stuck on planet Earth? We conducted an experiment to find out how well two regular people could get by eating only astronaut food for a full week. And it was a week that included a holiday weekend feast, and we did that just for fun. Take a look at how they fared.
always thought, like, oh my gosh, when you go to space, like, you don't have to grocery shop for like 6 months.
I think it's gonna actually put me on a schedule for eating. I am horrible at eating at all hours of the night. I miss lunch.
We're also talking about like beverages. Like, we can probably only drink powdered beverages or water, so nothing, no sodas.
No sodas.
Nothing carbonated.
No.
Yeah,
No
it's just.
tequila. I think it'll be a little bit more healthy than what I normally eat. Plus, I get to eat everything with tortillas, and I'm from San Antonio, so. I will say we are doing this over a holiday weekend. You have huge barbecues and lots of great food, so I think I'm gonna want to eat some really good ribs and, you know,
And, like,
fajitas.
snacks.
Solemnly swear to eat all of the astronaut food and not cheat.
Never.
Never.
We're in this together, so if we feel
Never,
weak,
ever, ever.
we'll text each other. Maybe
We chose 7 days out of the standard menu. You're gonna have a protein, some carb, some fruit. The other large category of products that we have are thermostabilized products.
Which is sort of like a military ration that we don't have to refrigerate to keep fresh.
Can't do them in a microwave
I was gonna
because they
say,
got
it looks
oil.
like something that can't go in a microwave. I was gonna ask because I didn't want to find that out the hard way.
We also have rehydratable food, which is this type in a vacuum pack where we have to add water, either hot or cold.
We're going to give you a syringe.
Oh, I don't like needles.
And it comes with a needle. So this is
You have to
how
carry
you
that
would
around, too.
rehydrate. Okay.
I don't think we would want to have that laying around our office.
Can I take that through airport security?
It is the day before we start the food challenge, and I just went to go pick up all the materials from our wonderful food lab. So they're all packaged and in my trunk. I asked them what I should eat as my last real meal, and they said something fresh, maybe a salad. The problem is I was thinking nachos, so...
As I suspected, I wouldn't have time to eat in the airport. I'm probably going to grab something to eat on the fly. Hopefully there's some tacos.
So like I said, I was debating healthy or, you know, not healthy. Of course, I chose nachos.
I did end up picking up some tacos, some shrimp tacos actually, with some rice and some beans. I told you I love tacos.
It's important to always choose nachos, so I'm gonna call this hashtag she chose nachos.
She chose nachos. He chose tacos.
So I have beef and mushrooms, rice pilaf, tomato and artichokes, and a wheat flatbread.
Well, I don't know about that. I have grilled chicken, mac and cheese, vegetarian chili. We're in Texas, come on. Cran apple dessert.
Oh man, I already, remember she told us to tear it so there's no extra pieces of trash.
Oh, so like if we were in space,
So
this
like
would all
this.
be floating around.
Yeah.
Once we open those packages, the food is what we consider to be liberated, and it can just float anywhere. And sometimes you find yourself using your spoon or your mouth to chase around the food and make sure you get it all in your mouth instead of stuck against the wall or somebody's face.
Let's heat up a bowl of water and set these green ones in there.
idea.
Yeah. And it looks like it's getting to be the right consistency.
Temperature, yeah.
We might have not done hot enough water too. That might be why it's not absorbing like all the way.
Okay,
Oh, okay,
well,
this is good.
this is interesting. It's not bad. Wait a minute, what was this?
This
Oh,
is
this is
good.
good.
Yeah, the artichokes and tomatoes are good too.
Should I try and eat it like this?
Yeah.
Ooh. You should have just got straws. I could have been like,
Right? This is making my day. Like, this is a treat.
I have cran apple dessert.
This would remind me of home.
Yum.
So it's been a long day, but I did not get hungry at all. I had my butterscotch pudding as part one of my snack. I was wondering if the workouts would be hard. They're pretty much the same. I feel really high energy, and I didn't even have coffee this morning. I'm actually really excited about this chicken, corn, and bean. This potato medley actually looks like some potatoes with spices and melted cheese on it. I'm very excited to get some melted cheese texture up in here. Little butter cookies look really delicious and super bougie.
So you'll see I have some Caribbean chicken, pesto pasta with some corn, tortillas, vanilla pudding, and some pears. I got a little bit better at actually making the space food today, but I punctured the actual corn. I cut through it, so I had to rehydrate it through the side. So lesson learned, this smells absolutely
delicious.
It's my boyfriend's last day at his old job, so one of his favorite clients brought him these delicious, huge-looking cupcakes, so none for me.
Ooh. Do you see that? This is science, y'all. So,
Be a nurse now.
I get. My mom would be proud. Like, Mom, I'm doing nurse things today. Look at this. Oh, okay. This looks like oatmeal. Do PR for NASA, they said. It'd be fun. What are you having for lunch? What's your main?
I have citrus salad, and then my main thing is Fiesta chicken.
Ooh, I love Fiesta.
Yeah, and rice. yeah, rice with butter.
And
so
tacos.
I'm really excited because I think our food's gonna be warmer today.
I agree.
I think we did this right with some practice yesterday.
This is some smoked turkey.
Oh God!
It's leaking. I wasn't expecting.
It's like
it smells funky. Some cornbread dressing, and then some cauliflower. I'm not a fan of this.
Today we're eating in the LBJ room. So President LBJ is who Johnson Space Center is named after.
We should do a toast.
We should. Go LBJ. Woo! Oh, mine's closed.
And so here we go. This is really good. This is the chicken noodles. Let's try some of this green bean. Oh, that could use some hot sauce. The lentil soup. Ooh, it's hot. Ooh, hot. See, these are actually my tortillas. Astronauts on board the International Space Station can actually eat tortillas, and it's one of the things that they like to do because you can pretty much grab anything that's floating in space with them.
2 quick miscellaneous notes. I've been living a really scheduled life and waking up early and going to bed early because I've been having to wake up with enough time to make breakfast, and then I go to bed shortly after dinner just so I don't get hungry again.
I think Dan has a burrito.
Oh,
I
yeah.
am jealous right now.
I went for peak. And queso.
Apples, fresh fruit.
Which may or may not be organic.
My snack was chicken in a pouch, so.
Mine was tuna in a
Yeah.
pouch.
There you go.
Lemon curd cake. Looks kind of like your rice.
Not your grandma's I was just at the mall, and whew, that was a week time because all of my friends got some really good appetizers, and when you're just all sitting around the table together, I had to really stop myself a couple times to not mindlessly reach for some of their chips or pretzels.
What are you eating?
A cupcake.
And what is Isidro eating? Space chocolate.
Space chocolate.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the astronaut candy? Is it yummy?
Can you tell which one's the space food and which one is our regular Easter meal here?
Hey guys, what are y'all making?
Astronaut burgers.
My family gets to eat this delicious grilled food, and I get to eat a kind of brisket. It's space brisket and baked barbecue beans, so we'll see how that ends up being.
See this? Oh, it's coming apart.
Oh no!
Oh, save the meat.
It's Monday, so we're done at Wednesday morning. We're really ready to be done. The weekend was hard.
I was not able to eat any of the food that was at the festival. There were some jalapeno corn dogs, and I'm like,
Sounds so good.
what is life right now? I can't even.
And we have curry chicken, green beans and potatoes. The potatoes have been iffy, but these look better than some of the ones. Cream of mushroom soup.
Oh. A little bit of India, a little bit of Texas with this countryness. I'm so ready for this to be over.
Yeah, we're ready.
I need my social life back.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
I'm having milk today. Powdered milk. Ah!
We're nervous about the guests or the milk?
I'm more nervous about the milk, I'm not gonna lie. But something that I noticed while we've been eating this food is you have to have it really hot.
On the space station, we put it in a kind of a, it's almost like an easy bake oven.
Okay.
Where you just, and that does make a really big difference.
So
I gotta admit, when I was making lunch this morning, I wasn't thinking this was gonna be on camera. Leftover rice, some turkey.
But it's home cooked.
It's definitely home cooked. Yeah, I was a big fan of the garlic paste.
Garlic paste.
That can fix anything.
Okay, question. Can you chew gum in space?
Yes.
Okay, because garlic, bad breath.
I wasn't trying to impress any of my crew members. We would use what we called food glue. So something. We'll just make up something. Spray some olive oil in there to try to get everything to stick together a little bit. Or like I said, the garlic paste worked well for me. When you get a few people with rice in their eye, then after that you figure something out. You know, it's a lot easier in space because we don't have to load the syringe. Like if you were trying to measure out 250 milliliters of water or 100 milliliters of water, we literally just dial that number and then press the button for hot or cold water.
So talk to me about tacos in space. Tortillas, are they great to have up there?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. It just floated on his plate.
Gosh, if we had salsa, we did have salsa sometimes. You can put that on there. The salsa will stick to the bread. You can use the salsa for other things to stick to the salsa.
I'm from San Antonio, and I love tacos. So I told everyone I would make a space taco. Yeah. So it's a little bit leaky, extra moist.
It doesn't happen in space. It doesn't drip off the edges, it just makes a bubble.
Gotta do the taco tilt because everybody knows. Good stuff.
That's awesome.
This was the Mexican scrambled eggs food lab. They know what they're doing. We have some scientists back there. So is there anything that you...
Ooh, we did it! Way better than the LBJ toast.
Yeah.
Favorite meal, I actually really liked a lot of the breakfast food. And the shrimp cocktail was in fact very good.
Ooh, shrimp cocktail, but the scrambled eggs in a taco. Ugh, man, sorry, done. And maybe if I had a machine to kind of heat everything up.
If I was sealed away from the outside world and I didn't have all those temptations, maybe.
Maybe if the food was floating around me, but I don't think I would otherwise.
We could do that.
Maybe if I were an astronaut.
So I was debating, this is the same debate I started with, nachos or a salad.
Get them both.
I'll get both. I should get
listen,
both.
at this point, I think we need to treat ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
But I can tell you, I really want some coffee.
Yeah.
Some nice
regular coffee.
Hot coffee,
like
not
a latte.
powdered. I gotta get some coffee.
And a soda.
This is not easy, y'all. I'm telling you.
If you'd like to get another look at any of the stories we featured today, check us out on YouTube and Facebook. There are the addresses. And while you're at either of those places, look at all the other cool stuff you'll find there about NASA and America's human spaceflight program. You should also check out Houston, We Have a Podcast, featuring folks here at NASA talking about their work in all aspects of space exploration. All the new episodes post on Fridays. And today, the final part of our series on the hazards of human spaceflight, Gary Jordan talks with Dr. Brian Crucian about the impacts of the hostile and closed environments that will face the people who will make those future journeys out into the solar system. Go to www.nasa.gov/Johnson/HWHAP. Yes, Houston, we have a podcast. You'll find all the episodes there. You will also find them all on Apple Podcasts, on Google Play, and on SoundCloud. This is Mission Control, Houston.